Welcome to Trucker Reacts, back with another video. Video here is about a year old or so, but remember the big truck train crash that happened down in Pecos, Texas, a couple years ago? Well, they're starting to get some information out, and also got a news story after this video about the trucking company countersuing Union Pacific. It's crazy. So let's watch this video, then we'll cover the news article after that. Here we go.
We now have new details about that fatal derailment in Pecos, Texas. The information is courtesy of a National Transportation Safety Board preliminary report that was released on January 30th, 2025. You probably remember this Union Pacific train derailed after striking a truck that was hauling an oversized load on December 18th, 2024. Sadly, the two men on board the train died, and 3 bystanders in Pecos sustained minor injuries. The NTSB's preliminary report said, in total, the 4 head-end locomotives and 11 rail cars behind them derailed. And keep in mind, in this case, these were intermodal well cars that operate as articulated units that basically consist of several cars permanently coupled together. The train was hauling hazardous materials, but no hazmat was released. As you can see from these images, the town's Chamber of Commerce building, a former depot, was damaged after train cars and the truck's load crashed into it. So what exactly was that truck hauling? Although some reports said it was a tower for a wind turbine, according to the NTSB, this was a demethanizer tower that was 116 feet long and weighed in at 91,000 pounds. And demethanizer towers are used in the oil and gas industries. Now, the truck and its load entered the grade crossing about 1 minute before the collision, according to the NTSB.
1 minute.
Event recorder data showed that right before the impact, the crew did initiate an emergency braking application, slowing the train from about 68 to about 64 miles per hour. The maximum authorized track speed here is 70 miles per hour. The NTSB says the railroad crossing's warning device is activated while the truck was blocking the tracks. Now, you may want to know more about the truck and its route. It was operated by Boss Heavy Haul LLC. According to the NTSB report, the truck was driven by a single driver and escorted by 2 pilot vehicles and a uniformed police motorcycle escort. This viral video shows us the scene as the incident unfolded. A bystander in Pecos recorded this footage, and it was widely circulated by news outlets and on social media. And I know this is hard to watch, and we need to keep in mind that 2 men passed away as a result of this collision, but hopefully this helps us to understand what happened and how to prevent stuff like this. It appears only the truck's tractor has made it across the tracks.
Oh, you see that? It just snapped that trailer right off that truck.
The pickup with the flashing blue and amber lights is one of the escort vehicles. And later on, it appears the tractor is able to actually drive away from the crossing. And this is what I would think was the uniformed police motorcycle escort the NTSB mentioned. As you can see from Google Street View, there appears to be an uphill.
What happened to the escorts? Are they in any kind of liability there? Does it? I mean, come on now. He had a low load, oversized, and there should have been warnings. I don't know who's at fault here. They should have warnings on the track or the crossing. The escort should have known better to try to have that truck go across that.
Grade as the road here approaches the crossing. Signs also tell motorists not to stop on the tracks. And yeah, there are several signs here to report emergencies to the railroad. I've never seen a big one like this before. The load the train hit was traveling from Houston to Mentone, Texas. Okay, so here's what I find really interesting about the truck's journey. It's included at the very bottom of the NTSB's preliminary report. Footnote number 4 says, quote, the Texas Department of Transportation authorized this origin and destination.
Oh.
The Cedar Street Highway Railroad grade crossing was included within the permit designated
Oh.
route. The NTSB says future investigative activity will focus on grade crossing safety, site modeling, accident data analysis, carrier requirements for traversing grade crossings while transporting oversized loads, and locomotive cab survivability and crashworthiness. And keep in mind, the information I've referenced is from an NTSB preliminary report and is subject to change. So, what if you come across a situation like what happened in Pecos? Well, one thing you should do if there's no immediate danger is look for a blue and white sign like this one.
There you go.
These are called Emergency Notification System or ENS signs.
This
They
wouldn't
have
have done them any good because they said the truck entered the tracks just about a minute before it was struck. So if they got stuck, they didn't have time to call that number. They were just panicking, trying to get the heck out of the way. But if the Texas DOT authorized this route, including the railroad crossing on the permit, shouldn't they have known better to put this in that route?
an 800 number you can call, along with the crossings number that you can give to the operator to tell them exactly where you are. Of course, this investigation is ongoing, and NTSB investigations can take 12 to 24 months. And I'll keep you posted on any updates.
That's about it for the video there. Man, yes. I really don't know who to say who's at fault. Most people want to just put the blame on the trucking company or the driver because he know better across the track like that. But in the escort, you'd think would know not to try to bring that truck across there as fast. Well, he probably make it. Probably ain't good enough. But then again, was there warning signs on the crossing? Why was the crossing included in the route for the permit? So let's check out this news article. This puts a whole new light on the story, I think. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see what's going to happen. All right, this is from Trains Pro. Trucking firm countersues Union Pacific, blames crew and crossing design for fatal Texas crash. This will probably never be settled because this got the finalization on the NTSB investigation, lawsuits. So who knows when all this will be settled. Here's a picture, up above picture from the crash. They got rail cars all over the place. Where's the crossing? Down there on the left. Pecos, Texas. The heavy haul trucking company whose rig was stopped on a grade crossing and struck by a Union Pacific Z train, killing the train crew, has filed a lawsuit against the railroad. The countersuit filed last week by Boss Heavy Haul and Optimized Process Designs in Reeves County District Court in Pecos blames UP and the train crew for the December 18th collision. UP is responsible for the disastrous December 2024 train crash at the Cedar Street grade crossing in downtown Pecos. That underlies this action. Among other wrongful conduct, Union Pacific recklessly maintained the crossing as a dangerous humped crossing with steep inclines while knowing that the crossing daily experiences heavy industrial traffic and was the site of a 2019 crash between a UP train and a truck trailer, the countersuit claims. And in the moments leading up to the December 2024 crash, the UP train crew inexplicably, failed to take any measures to stop or slow the train until it was only 1/4 of a mile away from the crossing. even though the crew had a clear view from over a mile away of a specific individualized hazard. Boss's oversized load was over 15 feet in height and flanked by a police escort and two pilot cars with flashing emergency lights. Now they should know better. It's going to take longer than a quarter of a mile away to get that train stopped. The load, a demethanizer tire used in the oil and gas industry, was being transported from Houston to Matone, Texas, a town in the Permian Basin oil patch 23 miles north of Pecos. The tire was 12 feet wide, 160 feet long, and weighed 91,000 pounds. The truck was stopped on the crossing for 1 minute before a train, a Shreveport, Louisiana Los Angeles hotshot, struck the 2015 Peterbilt truck tractor in combination with a 2016 Shirley hydraulic platform semi-trailer that was carrying an oversized load. Engineer Clay Burt and conductor Philip Araujo were killed in the wreck. A review of one of the locomotive data recorders showed the train had been moving at 68 miles per hour before the crew initiated an emergency brake application shortly before the collision. This train was moving at 64 miles per hour when it collided with the truck. The maximum authorized track speed in the area is 70. So they were way below the max. Not way below, but they were below the max. At UP, we take both safety and federal regulations seriously. The speed of our train, along with the timing of the crossing signal, was in full compliance with federal regulations. The crossing, which handles a high volume of truck traffic daily without incident, was also safe. The tragic incident that claimed the lives of two UP employees could have been prevented if the trucking company had taken the necessary precautions to coordinate the route and the movement of its oversized load and notified Union Pacific in advance. They also should have planned and scouted the route and attributes of the particular crossing prior to the trip to determine if its oversized load could safely negotiate the crossing. That's true right there. I will give him that. The trucking company said that neither the truck driver nor the police escort or front and rear pilot driver saw or heard any indication of an approaching train when the truck proceeded slowly through the crossing to avoid getting hung up on the hump, according to the countersuit. The suit alleges that the UP crew was negligent when it failed to stop or slow down and claims the positive train control data logs appear to demonstrate that the train was provided a restricted proceed signal during the 73 seconds leading up to the accident, beginning when the train was approximately 1.5 miles away from the crossing. A restricted proceed indication would have required a crew to not exceed 20 miles an hour while being able to stop within the one half. See, they don't understand how trains work. They just don't go from 64 to 20 miles an hour in an instant. The grade crossing, the country says, lacked signage warning of low ground clearance, despite the presence of gouge marks from vehicles that had struck the inclined pavement. The truck company also argues that the crew. Now, this is the crazy part. I think where their lawsuit is ridiculous. The trucking company also argues that the crew would have survived if they had taken refuge in the nose of the GN or GE C45AH locomotive. There's a picture of the locomotive. You see the cab is completely sheared off, but they were expecting the crew to jump down, I guess, or crawl down into the nose of that locomotive, of that engine there. Post-accident analysis of the nose found it was intact, including a collision post installed to help maintain the structure in the event of a collision. The analysis is confirmed by the following picture of the nose after collision, which demonstrates that it absorbed the impact of the collision remarkably well, whereas Locomotive's cab, where the engine conductor remained, was entirely destroyed. The trucking company also alleges that UP took no action to alter the crossing after the 2019 collision. The NTSB says the investigation is focused on site modeling, accident data analysis, highway railroad grade crossing safety, locomotive cab survivability, and crashworthiness, and carrier requirements for traversing grade crossings while transporting oversized loads. The agency's final report has not been released. UP and the Cruz families have filed suit against Boss Heavy Haul, Bennett On-Site Services, Cowboy Services, Bennett International Group, and Bennett Motor Express, as well as the driver of the truck, Jason Wayne Melius. So that's it for that. So trucking companies are countersuing Union Pacific. Who's really at fault here? Are they both at fault? Is the Texas DOT at fault for this? Like I said, I don't think we'll probably never get an ending to this. Two lawsuits, lawsuit, kind of lawsuit. Who's to blame? UP, truck companies, escorts, Texas DOT. There's a lot going on here, but man, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy. So let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about the situation. If I hear anything else about this, I'll try to bring it right here. But that's it for this video. I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.